So today we're unboxing and testing the DR900S from Blackvue. Now this is a 2-channel, which means there's a camera in the front, one in the back. This is a 2-channel 4K dash cam, and essentially the front camera is going to be 4K, the rear camera is going to be full HD or 1080p. Now this video is going to be pretty lengthy, guys. I want to bring you through all the setup, and also we'll be unboxing and testing the Blackvue Power Magic Ultra battery. This is the B124 model, guys, and what this does, it provides continuous power when you're in parking mode. So when your vehicle's parked, your camera will run off this battery, and it will essentially gives you that coverage that you'll need when you're away from the vehicle. So with that said, this is going to be a pretty lengthy video. I am shooting in 4K today just to demonstrate the true picture quality of the front camera especially. Also, this is going to be a lengthy video, so I will be putting timestamps in the description as well as the comment section. If you guys don't want to see a certain thing, you can skip ahead. Let's go ahead and jump into it. This is the full review of the Blackvue DR900S as well as the Blackvue Power Magic Ultra battery B124. So first things first, let's go ahead and start with the contents of the box. So let's open the camera first. So here are the specifications of the DR900S. So first of all, like I said, it is 4K. This is 30 frames per second. H.265, it uses H.265. However, H.264 is available. H.265 is essentially a better format for this platform. What it does, it is still 4K, but with this format, it uses less memory. So your SD card won't fill up quite as fast with the H.265. 8 megapixel front camera, 2.1 megapixel rear. Do have a CMOS sensor, enhanced night vision also included, up to 128 gigabytes of SD support, adaptive format, so free file management system, loop recording, and intelligent parking mode. So we're going to check out both of those, especially when we get over to the application, guys. It does have built-in 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, has a G sensor and GPS. It does have event file override protection. What that means is that if something happens, whether alarm is triggered because of a motion or alarm is triggered because of the G sensor, if someone hits your vehicle, that data is then stored to the cloud. That way it can't be ripped over your car and erased essentially. So Blackvue Application, of course, iOS as well as Android. The viewer is for Windows and Mac and compatible with free Blackvue over the cloud service. So they do have a free cloud service that they provide, and let's go ahead and jump into what that includes. So here's what you get with the free over the cloud service, guys. You get a live view, remote video playback, so you can play back from your device, emergency alarm, so you actually get an alert on your device, pretty cool. Has GPS tracking, video backup, auto upload, two-way voice communication, so you can actually talk to the person in your vehicle, which is pretty cool. So the free account, this is what it includes: 10 minutes live view per day, register 1 Blackvue dash cam per account, 5 gigabytes cloud storage, and 100 downloads or replays per month. So you can see that there is going to be a premium service that's going to cost a little bit more. At the bottom right there, it says Blackvue over the cloud service requires access to an internet-able Wi-Fi network for mobile hotspots. So if you guys are in the house, you'll be fine because you will be connected to the network. However, if you're out of your house, if you're at work, or you're just on the road, or you're somewhere where that you're going to park for an extended period of time, you will need to have a hotspot in your vehicle just to keep the monitor going. So that's very important, guys. So let's go ahead and see what's in the box here. Alright, so in the box, 2 cameras, of course, but right here it tells you the serial number, your SSID. This is what you'll be connected to with your phone to view the application, to view the live video. Also has the password and the cloud code. So all of this is unique to this camera, so we'll be blurring it out, but if you purchase a camera, you will have that unique information in there as well. So here's the front camera first. It does have the lens protector on here. We'll pull that off in a little bit. So this is how it actually mounts to the vehicle, to the windshield. So just a sticky tape on this side. To remove it, just kind of click that, slides, put it back in, and this just kind of rotates to lock it in a position that works for you. Gonna take it back off. So let's go ahead and pull this off. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plastic off of it as well. And this side does have another protective piece of plastic. So on this side, we do have a couple connections. So this is where you'll plug in your rear camera. This is the power. So depending on how you have it wired in, this will either be connected to your cigarette lighter, or it can go directly to your fuse box. We'll go over that in a little bit. It does have a button right here, and this button has two functions basically. You can press it twice and that will turn on your Wi-Fi, or if you do a long press, it will go ahead and format your SD card. To open it, just pull. And that piece comes out, and this is where your SD card goes. Now on the other side, it does have the Wi-Fi indicator along with the LED, and we do have the Blackvue logo, but this also has a touch feature, guys, where you can swipe and that will mute the audio from recording. So pretty good addition. Underneath the bottom, it does have two LEDs, one to show that you're recording, the other one to show that GPS is on. And we also have a speaker on the bottom. Also have another LED right here, guys, that you can play with. You can turn it on and off just to either let people know that you're recording, or you can turn it off to essentially enable a stealth mode. That way no one will be aware that you are recording them. Now this part that I'm hiding also has the SSID, so it has the Wi-Fi name along with the password, so I want to keep that protected as well. The rear camera essentially has the same basic setup, guys. It does have a lens cap. Peel it off. And that actually pulls right off. Same basic mount, guys. Just one thing to take into consideration when you mount this side right here needs to be on the inside of your car, pointing inwards, and this part on the outside. So this is going to be on your rear windshield, and the camera is going to be set something like this. And so nothing here, just an indicator on the side, and it does have the hook in to hook up to the front camera. Also on the back, we do have pretty thick user's manual, so it's going to tell you everything you need to know about the system, and it is lengthy, guys. Please, if you buy this camera, please read it fully, see what's all included, see what the features are. Definitely a lot to cover on this system. So here are the rest of the contents from the box. This is the coaxial cable. This will run from the front camera to the rear camera. We also have a goodie bag here with some stuff in it, so let's see what's in the goodie bag. What this is, it's actually a pry to help you run the wire, so you can get in between the rubber in your sealant to hide the wire and tuck it away. So nice that that is included. So they did throw in the 32 gigabyte SD card. They also have some additional sticky pads and mounts just in case you either have to move the camera, or it comes loose or damaged, or you want to mount it differently. You do have additional tape to go ahead and stick it back in there. And also included, this is a USB to SD card adapter. So essentially you can grab the micro SD card, slide it in here, then you can put this in your computer. Just makes it easier to transfer files. So also a good addition for this package. And last but not least, we do have the actual power adapter. So depending how you're going to connect this in your car, guys, this can be one way to wire it. So one way is to connect this to your cigarette lighter, this to your main camera in the front, and that can be the entire setup. However, they do have additional ways to set it up, and one of them is to actually set it up with this battery. Let's take a look at the PowerMagic Ultra B124. So first of all, specifications. So fast charging 40 minutes and hardwired 80 minutes in cigarette lighter. So this has two ways to hook it up, guys. You can either plug it in directly to your cigarette lighter, or you can run it into your fuse box. It tells you right there it takes a little bit longer when you run it through your cigarette lighter, but the connection and installation is going to be a lot easier. As far as the capacity, 6,000 milliamp hour, long lasting, more than 24 hours of park mode. So this is based on a dash cam that uses a 3-watt camera. Will run off this battery for 24 hours before it dies. Expandable, this does have a port where you can actually add additional batteries, guys. You can essentially daisy chain it to make your battery life a lot longer. As far as the configuration, this itself has a Bluetooth in it, so you can connect it directly to your phone through the application. You can do different things like monitor it, see how long it's charging for, see how long the capacity is, and kind of just play with the different settings just to see where you are. Alright, so here's the actual battery, guys. Nothing on the back. This is the expansion that I spoke about a little bit earlier. If you wanted to add an additional battery, you can go ahead and do so. All you have to do is plug this up, daisy chain it, and you will have an extended life. This goes to your dash cam, and the harness is in here. You do have a switch, and this gives you both options of hooking it up. The one option is to hook it up to your cigarette lighter, and this is the option we're going to do. The second option is to hardwire this. You can hardwire it to your battery, and that way you can have that fast charging, but For this installation, I'm going to hook it up to the cigarette lighter, just a lot easier. And last but not least, this is your DC in. This is where you're going to plug it in, guys. So whatever connection method you choose, whether it's for the cigarette lighter or your actual fuse box, this is where the main harness will plug in. We also have some additional wiring, so if you choose to hardwire, you do have some fuses in here as well as the wire to go ahead and connect that safely. So that's basically it, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start hooking up to the car. We'll be showing you snapshots, then I'm going to get into a brief summary of what I did and how I ran the different wires. So the first thing I did was clean the area that I will be mounting the camera on. So make sure that's clean, make sure that's dry. Just gives you a good surface to work with. The second thing, I wanted to make sure that the camera was centered on the windshield. Now, not necessarily the mounting point, but just where the lens will be on the windshield. Want to make sure that's centered. That will give you the best viewing angle. So once I got it mounted, everything secured, went ahead and removed the lens cap, and that was basically it. Camera is centered, and that was my main goal. So went around to the back and basically did the same procedure, guys. Make sure it's centered, the camera lens is centered on the glass in the back, and that again will give you the best viewing angle. As far as the battery, I went ahead and installed it on the power supply inside of my armrest, and I just went ahead and ran that down to the back of my passenger seat, and that will be the resting place for this battery. I will get it secured better and push more underneath where it's not visible, but that's the best place for me. Depending on your vehicle, you might have to put it somewhere else. So went ahead and plugged that in where the power supply is, and the next plug-in, this is where my actual camera is going to come down to. So plug that in, got it installed, and now running the cable for the camera. Wanted to make sure everything's as neat as possible. So cables, I decided to split the cable for the rear camera and the cable for the power. One's going to the right side, one's going to the left, and it's just a matter of tucking everything in, guys, making sure the work looks neat. I didn't want any cables hanging around, so I had to follow the trim around, follow the weatherproof, and just make sure everything's tucked in pretty good. So right now I'm using a tool that was provided, working that panel right there, and once I got to the weather portion, it was a lot easier because I was able to do this by hand. So this is the power side, going down to the seat, and follow the same procedure for the rear camera. Alright, so everything's hooked up. Let's go ahead and power it on. First, I'm going to connect the coaxial for the rear camera. Wonderful click. And I also did insert the SD card that was provided, guys. It's a 32 gig SD card. And we'll just wait for some instructions.
Initializing SD card. Please do not disconnect the power.
Alright, so it's formatting the card right now, basically. You can see the LEDs on it. We do have the record, which is orange, and the GPS is blinking blue.
Blackvue for your safe driving.
Alright, so look like
Starting normal recording.
Alright, so look like we're recording right now. Let's go ahead and jump into the application, guys. So here we are. I just downloaded. I did go ahead and register with my account. All you need is an email, and let's go ahead and launch the battery application first. So for you guys that don't know, it's two separate applications. The Blackvue application, when you launch the battery application, it will go ahead and jump over to the Blackvue battery. So basically you can launch it here, or you can go here and go to battery, and it will launch the same application. So here's some basic information about the battery. So discharging, so that means that it's not being charged. I am parked right now. The DC in is 0. output is 13 volt, capacity 6,000 milliamp hour, and also has the charging time remaining and usage time. So it's basically saying that I have a little bit over 5 hours of recording time at this rate. So 30%, 5 hours, that seems about right. Times that by 4, they estimate about 24 hours on the battery. So nothing else in here. Click on the settings there. You can override parking mode, you can turn the beep off, and you have the capacity. Not much you can do there. You can also reset the battery settings. So that's basically it for the battery application. Pretty straightforward. Let's go to the Blackvue app. Let's go to the Wi-Fi. You can connect Blackvue by choosing your Blackvue from Wi-Fi networks. Let's go ahead and do that. And there it is right there, Blackvue 900S. Let's go ahead and click on that. I did have my password. Let me go ahead and get that. All right, so I am connected here. Let's go back out to the application.
Parking mode on.
All right, so detects that I am in parking mode, and here we are in the application, guys. So click on the camera there. You can see that's my front view. And let's swap it to the back camera. All right, so it's not too bad. Let's go back. These are the different type of events, guys. So you can go through and toggle each one off. They do have some for parking. If you wanted to kind of narrow down what event you want to look at, you can go ahead and just click one of these off, and you do have that settings. Here's your download, so you can go ahead and copy to memory. In your settings, you have your firmware settings, update. Just went ahead and did a firmware update, so everything should be up to date, guys. Let's check out the Wi-Fi settings again. We do have some recordings here that we can go ahead and download. If we click on that, it gives you a couple options. You can either do the original file or a quick play. Let's click quick play. We'll just see how long it takes. So it is playing right now, so just pretty basic right there, but you can go ahead and download the original file if you wanted to. Let's click on the settings up top. Firmware is up to date, just completed that. Now if you go to firmware settings, this is where you'll find most of your camera settings, guys. So you have time, video, and recording. Okay, make sure you back up all your important data. So my time zone is going to be -5, I believe, which is Eastern if I'm not mistaken. We have our video settings, so 4K at 30 tells you the same thing. Back up your information. So you do have the different settings here. So you have 4K at 30, and this is extreme, the higher quality. You have another 4K setting at 30. You have a full HD at 16, full HD at 30 frames per second. So I'm just going to leave it as 4K UHD. The codec, this is where you do have the option to switch it up between the H.265, which is recommended because it takes up a lot less space on your SD card. You also have the H.264 if you wanted to go ahead and do that just for backwards compatibility. They do realize that a lot of desktop or older desktop computers will not be compatible with H.265. So brightness, rear, front, you can go ahead and adjust that. Recording options, so normal recording, motion, and impact detection, can go in there and edit that. Voice recording, you can turn that on and off. Speed unit, we're going to switch that to miles per hour. Lock event files, so you might want to go ahead and turn that on, guys. Very important. If something happens, you don't want that file to be stored locally. All right, everything else looks good.
Parking mode on.
All right, so it just let me know that it detected that there's no charging going on in my battery, so automatically switched to parking mode. Pretty cool. So sensitivity, so you have the G sensor, so you can go ahead and play with that. You guys may be getting too many alerts, you can go ahead and adjust that. And you do have that settings, G sensor settings for both modes, so parking as well as normal mode. You also have motion detection for parking mode, because obviously that's the only time you'll need motion detection. So if you click on it, you can go ahead and adjust it. You do have options for different zones, so if you guys wanted to exclude certain areas, for instance, you can go ahead and do that. Same thing for the rear camera, guys. And I probably have to adjust my rear camera a little bit, maybe move it a little bit upward. So pretty cool settings. Let me go ahead and move those back since I'm in an ideal situation in my garage right now. Just want to leave everything as is. So that was your sensitivity. You have your system. So you do have LEDs that you can go ahead and turn off. We spoke about this a little bit in the unboxing. If you guys want to go in stealth mode, you want to turn that LED so no one suspect that they're being recorded, you can go ahead and do that. You have a proximity sensor. And within this, you have a voice recording on, off, and manual recording. You have a voice guidance. So power on, start normal recording. If you guys don't want to hear the voice, you don't want to hear the startup chimes, you can go ahead and turn it off. You have your volume. You can max it out if you wanted to. Turn it down. I'm just going to max it out for now. I do have schedule reboot. So I'm guessing this is just like any computer, guys. If you leave it running continuously, it will start bogging down. So this looked like it's scheduled to reboot at 3 a.m. Can set your speed. Let's go to miles per hour, and let's say I want to be alerted if I'm going over 85, just to avoid getting a ticket. So let's go ahead and set that. And user text overlay. I guess you can put text on the actual video, but that's something I'm gonna have to play with. Not sure what that is exactly. All right, so that was your system on the Wi-Fi. So you guys remember the SSID was provided for us. There it is, but you can go ahead and change that, which I find is pretty cool. There's no way I'm gonna remember that password on the side, so I'm gonna leave it at Blackvue for the SSID. I'm gonna change the password to something else. All right, so that's been changed, and you do have that option to go ahead and reset your Wi-Fi, guys, just in case you forget what you set it as. You have the cloud, so enable cloud service. Cloud service hotspot settings. Now this is where if you guys want to be alerted when you're on the go, not in your house, you can go ahead and hook this up to a hotspot. So that's something I'm going to set up in a little bit. I do have a hotspot coming in, and I will go ahead and set that up in a little bit. So for now I'm just going to cancel out of it, but I'll probably do a follow-up video just showing you guys the hotspot that I'm purchasing. It's supposed to be a free hotspot by Freedom Pop. I pay for the hotspot for $9, and then you top up your account with $10 or $15, and it gives you 200 megabytes per month for free, and that's all you need to do. There's no monthly charge, so I'll probably do a separate video on that, but just stand by for that one, guys. You also have push notifications, so that will be pushed to your cell phone. If you're at work and something happens, it's just going to send you an alert on your cell phone. Last but not least, they have the language, English. And let's go ahead and save and close, and that's basically it, guys. Right now it's just disconnecting. Guessing when I do connect again, it's gonna ask me for my new Wi-Fi password. So we'll go ahead and connect. We already went over the Blackvue battery, internal memory. Wi-Fi is basically you connecting to your cameras directly, and you do have the Blackvue cloud, which gives you the cloud services, guys, and the notifications and everything else that you will need. So here I am, first ride, guys, pulling out of the driveway, and just keep in mind that the front camera is going to be in the 4K and the rear camera is always going to be in 1080p.
Parking mode off.
So it clearly detected that I am moving, that it's going to start regular recording. This is continuous recording. That will usually initiate once you start moving. So there's a view of the rear camera, and you can see that the sunlight in the top right of the screen kind of affects the image. It kind of darkens the image a little bit, and you'll see that throughout this video. But the front camera is amazing, guys. Just look how clear this looks. Really clear, really smooth, and this goes both for day and nighttime driving. So overall, very impressed with this system so far, and let's go ahead and check out a couple more videos. Here I am driving down the road again, more traffic. You can see the vehicles in front of me. Sweep by them, and if you guys are watching this on a 4K monitor, you will be able to see more details than if you're watching it in a regular HD monitor. But everything looks good. The rear camera looks good as well. Like I said, the sunlight is affecting the image a little bit, but that's usually normal with these types of systems. Just making a quick trip to Pep Boys. Handle my business coming out of Pep Boys right now. And that's the sound of windshield washer fluid falling down on the floor. But
Parking mode
there's
off.
a familiar sound, parking mode on. And like I said, looks pretty good. Video is smooth. Another thing I want to mention, guys, is that when you take out the SD card to pull your videos, they're all labeled so you can understand. So it does record in 1 minute increments, so it will tell you that this is the front camera and the time slot, and they're both named the same thing. So easy to tell which file you're looking for based on how it's named. So they did a good job on that with the SD card. So here's the same effect on the front camera with the sun. Whenever there's sun directly in the view, it is going to darken the image a little bit. It makes it a little bit harder to see details, license plate that's in front of you, but overall very good with the performance. The nighttime driving is excellent as well. You can see the camera picks up everything with the combination of the low light sensor in the camera and the headlights. You can pick up a lot of details within this image. The rear camera, however, was not that great. You can see when there's headlight behind you, can't really tell what's going on, but this will come in handy if you're in parking mode and someone bumps you, then you can see what's going on. But with the headlight directly on the camera, not much to make out. So sitting in the line of Chick-fil-A front view camera, you can pick up the details of the license plate with no issues, guys. So overall, I'm very impressed with this system. This is the Blackvue DR900S. This is a 2-channel 4K camera. I will be putting a link in the description where you can pick it up on Amazon. Also, I will be putting a link to the B124 battery pack that I'm using to operate this camera in parking mode. If you guys have any questions about this, drop them in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up as well, and I'll catch you on the next one.